Hello and welcome to a very special segment on the mega economic impact of the Mahakumbh. With over 64 crore visitors at the Mahakumbh and over 10 lakh jobs generated, of course, projections of the Mahakumbh contributing over 2 lakh crores to India's economy, contributing over 3 lakh crores to UP's economy. Of course, the questions really are arising about the multiplier effect of the Mahakumbh. And of course, to decode this, I'm joined by Mitali Nikor, Senior Economist. I'm also joined by Jayant Krishna, Senior Economist. Thank you both for your time. Mitali, so very clearly, a multiplier effect taking place for, of course, small vendors, big brands, the informal economy, as well as the formal economy.
Absolutely, Sakshi. I think, this is truly religious tourism in its element. What we are witnessing with the Mahakumbh. Of course, this is a one time, kind of dose, we can say, for the economy. It's a one time injection for the economy. But it just shows you the potential of religious tourism and the multiplier effect of religious tourism. Now, what do we mean by this multiplier? What we mean is that the government, the state government, actually went and invested around 7,000 crores from the state government budget into setting up some of the infrastructure and services that would be provided at this religious tourism event, right? On top of that, they brought in so much private investment that was nearly double, almost 7,000 crores of direct private investment came in around the services that are required and even the infrastructure for the Mahakumbh. So already we could see a direct one-to-one multiplier from private sector investment. After that, when you started seeing the visitors come in, the projections were 45, 45, 450 million, basically, 44, 45 crores. The numbers have exceeded everyone's expectations. We are sitting at 64 crores. So initially, when the estimations were done, people were saying, "Oh, the consumption that would be happening at the Mahakumbh because there's food, there's hospitality services, there's transport services, there's other kinds of interesting digital services that are coming up. People are purchasing photographs and selling the photographs." So there's a whole economy that has developed around this experience, and why not? Because it is a once in a lifetime experience. Even I actually saw that somebody was selling a digital dip for 1100 rupees, that you could do a dip from your home. So in this era of hybrid work, so all of these kind of new innovative services put together are actually coming to an estimate of 3 lakh crores, which is going to be, coming in for UP's economy. And plus, there is, of course, a huge element of this which is not estimated because that is in the informal economy. The kind of cash payments you're paying to, an auto wala or to a street food vendor, they are often outside of this formal estimation, and they are also making a lot of, benefit from this Kumbh economy. So overall, when we see the Kumbh economy really being like a massive injection for UP's growth, and also a model for religious tourism for the entire country, to say it's not only about the Kumbh, but any sort of religious tourism sites, you can have a lot of innovation in the kind of infrastructure and services that you bring around this event to make it more memorable for the tourists, make it more pleasurable for the tourists, and to make it an experience to remember for life. And also, the last point I'll say is around the international tourists. I mean, just see how many the international and foreign tourists have come for Kumbh, for Mahakumbh. They will come for other events also, if marketed well and if the infrastructure is of the same level. So we have a really good template now.
We have a really good template now, Jayant Krishna. Do you agree? And also, how do we sustain this growth and this economic momentum then?
See, Sakshi, the level, the volumes that we're talking about, the scale we are talking about, it makes Mahakumbh, especially the one in Prayagraj, which is ending today, the largest congregation of human beings ever in the history of mankind, kind of thing. Let's compare, with the footfall of 45 crore people, including 15 lakh, 1.5 million foreigners, Compare this with the Rio Carnival, in there we had almost 70 lakh people. Hajj, 25 lakh people. Oktoberfest, 72 lakh people. So vis-a-vis that, we're talking about something like 45 crore people. It's huge by any reckoning, by any imagination, kind of a thing. And as the legend goes that there was a Samudra Manthan, and the drops of nectar fell in Allahabad, Haridwar, I think Nasik and Ujjain, these four places, and people celebrated for self purification and opportunity for a self realization, if not actualization. So I think it's a massive thing. Let's look at the kind of investments which have been made. The total investments of state government of India, and the private investment put together is of the order of 16,000 crores. And what kind of infrastructure it has created? It has created 43 temporary hospitals with 6,000 beds. It has created hundreds of kilometers, several hundreds of kilometers of roads. 14 new flyovers. 9 new permanent ghats, which will outlive Kumbh. It will be there forever. 7 new bus stations, 12 kilometers of temporary ghats, during Kumbh. The kind of deployment of security. We're talking about 37,000 cops being deployed around the clock. We have 14,000 home guards. 2,750 CCTV cameras which are enabled by artificial intelligence. So by any reckoning, if you look at, it's a huge investment. And the good thing is that not only the government but also private sector has been mobilized to make this investment. And and if you assume, let's say, with even if you don't take 45 crore, let's say take 40 crore people, and average investment per person is about 5,000 rupees. It takes a total to almost rupees 2 lakh crores. And if you assume that the per unit expenditure would be about 10,000 rupees, because it includes rail, bus, journey, stay, food, everything, then it comes to almost 4 lakh crores. So it's a huge flip to the economy. And one study says that UP's GDP in last year, in the current year, ending March 31, would go up by about 1% thanks to the effect of Kumbh. So I think it's a huge scale. As you talked about sustainability, at this level it may not be sustainable, but the infrastructure getting created, the new hotels which have come up, and new all this will the benefit will be seen for a very long time. I mean, there is a saying which goes that if you double the speed by virtue of roads and flyovers, you triple the economy. That's so I think all that benefit will come not only to Allahabad, to Prayagraj, but to the entire region, to the state. I think it's a massive thing. I'm told the daily essentials, the trading of daily essentials is of the order of 17,000 crore. The hotel and travel industry, almost 3,000 crore is the delta addition. Religious materials consumption will be anywhere between 2,000 to 3,000 crore. So anything that you look at, I think it's good. And full sustainability of an operation, because this Kumbh comes once in 12 years. After 6 years, there'll be Earth Kumbh. So it may not be the case, but I think let's understand the way our economy is. Religion becomes such a pivot in the way our social fabric is woven. I think the rural heart bazaars and smaller religious fairs and things like that, I think having sensed this as an economic opportunity, I'm sure government would and the private sector would work hand in hand to ensure that every such activity, proliferates with more investments, with more returns, and so on and so forth. And so I'm very hopeful that the infrastructure which has been created, I think will be a major boost to the economy going forward for several years, and not just during the duration of Mahakumbh.
All right. Thank you both so much for sharing your thoughts, of course, on Mahashivratri and the final snan of Mahakumbh. Thank you.